300 Spartan, Adelphae captain, and one amazing cosplayer. Meet Victoria.
Victoria, welcome to Michelle's Body Shop. I really appreciate you being willing to interview with me, and I'm just really excited to have another 300 Spartan on my channel.
Awesome. Well, thank you for having me here. I'm super excited to just chat with you and share my experiences.
Yes. So aside from the fact that, of course, I love DragonCon, I love the 300 Spartans, you definitely are someone that would want to interview anyway, because you obviously have a lifestyle of fitness and lifting. I not only have met you through the 300 Spartans, but I've also since learned about your Instagram page, Shebulkcosplay. You actually have quite a following, and I can see why, because you have really amazing pictures of really amazing costumes. And also I see why She-Hulk, because you make an outstanding She-Hulk, like the best I've seen, honestly. So,
thank you. No, I appreciate that.
oh, you're welcome. Like you really do well. So can I ask you one thing? How do you have somebody do like a spray on green for your? You do it yourself?
No, it's all self-applied. I have a YouTube channel as well that you can check out how I apply my makeup, because I get that question a lot. Everyone's like, how do you apply it? It looks so smooth, looks so even. And this girl doesn't have like all the money in the world, so I don't have like the spray paint and all that type of stuff. So I just use water-based paint. I use Mehron Paradise. They have Mehron, the main brand. Paradise is a line of colors, and they have a really good like green that I was like, okay, I didn't want it like dark green, but I didn't want lime green, right? Yeah. So I just essentially, the way that I apply it is I brush on a good surface area of that paint. I wet my fingertips just ever so lightly, and then I rub it in like lotion. And that really gets it to seep in pretty well, that even like I've been hugging people all night in my She-Hulk, and it doesn't transfer. Oh, and you're like, oh, does people, like if you're a heavy sweating type of person, it might reactivate the paint, but I tend to not have that issue. So I think it also plays into better with my genetics essentially. But like I just learned that by mistake, because one year at DragonCon I was doing another character that was blue, and it just like the way that I was applying it on my face, it wasn't working, and I was getting so fed up. I was like, I'm not going to wear this costume. And so like I wet my fingertips to start like taking it off, and then as like within a couple seconds it starts feeling tacky again. I was like, wait, it's looking really good right now. So I applied it that way, and that's been my niche. So I use it for my Asoka Tanno. I use it for Miss Argentina. Like all of my body paint, that's how I've done it. My Ventress is the only one that I started venturing with alcohol-based paint. And that one I kind of almost did a similar method with a kabuki brush. So you just stipple it on, and then as you layer that, it gives you that clean. But let you know, if you have alcohol-based paint, you're going to spend 5 hours rubbing it off. So there is a difference. But with the water-based paint, jump in the shower, do maybe 2 rinse cycles. You're good to go. You're brand spanking new. You're back to normal.
Oh, man, that's really excellent tip. A very good tip.
Yeah, they have a wide collection of colors. They're known in the like face paint community and stuff like that. I just have found that technique of applying has allowed it to really sit into the skin versus on top of the skin where that would be transferable. And yeah, I do that. And then of course I contour, not my body, but like my face and my makeup with like eyeshadows. And if you wanted a layer of like security, you could always go over and quote unquote sealing it with baby powder. Brush it off, and then there you go. You're good to go.
Okay. Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
You know, I never really was a fan of how my face would turn out when I was Harley Quinn back in the day. I was going to try this. I tried this alcohol base, and that not only did it look kind of odd in the white, there's something about white. It's just.
Yeah, whites are a little bit more difficult. So I get that. Yeah, there's certain ones, and I always preference on trying to do like a test run makeup prior to putting on your cosplay. So I normally try to do that. Now that I've gotten a little bit more comfortable, I'll just focus on my face if I already know how to apply the body, just to see like how I want that to all look. But yeah, it can get difficult with like that color white. I don't know what is, like, you got to get the right product, and I don't know what that is yet.
Later years, when Suicide Squad came out and I did that version of Harley, instead of doing just like the solid white like sheet of makeup, I actually just got some goth makeup. I don't even remember what the brand was, but I think it was at Hot Topic, and it was just like some goth makeup. So it was a cream. So I put it on, and it didn't, you know, it wasn't a sheet of white, but it was so pale that it kind of worked. You know? I haven't seen all of your cosplays, but what are some of your favorites first, and then
yeah. So wow, I'm pretty well known with my husband as Aquaman and Mera from DC. That's kind of like how this all like started. We were well known as that being, you know, who we were, of Orlando. We used to do a lot of community events, a lot of charity work. We would go to Give Kids the World. You know, if there were like kids who had a wish, we would, you know, do that as well. Hospital visits, things like that. And so that's what we were known for as like a couple and as cosplayers. That's always been a beautiful one, because I have so many memories of like just interacting with the kids and, you know, bringing joy to maybe a time in their life that's not so happy. And after that, I think my next biggest like happy moment was me doing Xena from Princess Warrior.
Yeah.
I cosplayed her last year, and she has always been on my list since 2017 when I first started. And I was just like, leather work. Oh my God. Yeah. I don't know how I'm going to do this. I didn't have the skill set then. I was like, I want to wait until I'm ready to like start that. Well, leather work with Spartinis for the Adelphae. I dabbled in that, learned how to make my Spartini, and I was like, all right, I think I might have the skills to do Xena. And I did her, and I competed in the Muscle Nerds competition for Miss Muscle Nerd, and I won first place with my Xena routine. Yes, thank you. And so that was a beautiful moment. And also the screenwriter's wife of the Xena show saw me at DragonCon and took a photo and shared it.
Oh my gosh, that's incredible.
Like, freaking full circle. And it's me walking with my husband, and I'm on my phone. I think I was trying to meet up with somebody. And she's like, whoever is Xena, I want to let you know you're amazing. And I was like, so it got shared on the DragonCon official page. I found that, like, somebody found it, sent it to me, and I was like, what? That is so, like, small world, right? Like,
man, that's where it's at. Yeah, you definitely deserve that recognition, because I have seen that cosplay, and you did a fantastic job.
Thank you. And like you were saying, that like woman, that warrior, that like feel like when I was putting it on, I felt badass. I was like, I'm ready to take the world. I'm ready to defend whoever I need to defend. Like, it was amazing. And I have to give it out to my girlfriend who also did Gabrielle. She lived in another state. She made her costume. We met up, and man, it was just like, and the people who like recognize you, like, that's another thing too. Yes. Like, oh my gosh, you have the love that I have for that character. Oh, so cool.
I know, that's what, you know, one of the great things about DragonCon is that, you know, there is that kind of bonding with strangers that you have.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Those memories. Yeah.
It's so cool, like the great minds that come together, how people like just these random fandoms or these random memes come to life, and like, it's just, I love DragonCon for the culture that it brings. And, you know, as Aquaman and Mera, one of my favorite ones was meeting George Perez walking through the lobby floor. And he just comes up to us and he's like, you walked off the page. Rest his, you know, soul. But he posed with us. Like,
oh, that's wonderful.
Famous people are also just like enjoying the con, and they're just con goers. It's just, it's beautiful. I kind of stumbled upon this probably around a pivotal moment in my life, right? I feel a lot of times there's like a realization in somebody's personal journey. And at that point, I was essentially, my job was a huge impact on kind of like my weight gain when I was younger. I was freshly, married. I was going through some rough patches there, and work was so convenient for me to just be like, let me go to the fast food place because of what I do. Things that are open at 3 a.m. in the morning is what? Taco Bell, McDonald's, So I was going through the drive-thru, grabbing those things, heading home. And, I wasn't really thinking of what I was putting into my body, and I was just eating because I was hungry. That was it. That was the main goal. And it was just a terrible, 5 years of me just doing this for myself. And essentially as things were changing in my life and I went through a divorce, I realized it was actually I was having a Christmas dinner with my family, and my grandmother came over, and I love my grandmother to death. And I will never forget this. She kind of came and just grabbed my little love handles that I had at the time. And she was like, "What is this? This is not my granddaughter." And that was just the moment. Yeah, my family, just to give you a little preference, they're very bold. They will tell you like it is, and they were like, this is not my granddaughter. I don't know what's happening." And that was my wake up moment of wow, I was really in a slump. Things were kind of falling apart around me. And so I was like, okay, well, I need to make a change. And so I started working out, very basic. I came from no knowledge, just I look at that equipment, what is it for? And at that point, I just started to look up things, Pinterest, doing the typical okay, let me follow what that board says to do for today. Just essentially getting myself used to going to the gym. Or I had a little park around my first apartment after I left my ex-husband. And that park had little monkey bars and things to do along the path, and just essentially getting myself moving. That helped. I started to see progress. I started to see a little bit of a change, a little bit of a difference, and just kind of putting time back into myself.
Yeah.
I'd lost it before by putting it into something else. Mm-hmm. That kind of started my workout journey. And then from there, fast forward, every year, I just find myself learning more and more about this lifting lifestyle. And it really is a lifestyle. It's something you have to accept as a whole and be like, this is what is part of my daily routine. Mm-hmm. That's going to help you succeed in the future. If you just go into the mindset of, I just want to lose weight. Okay, you can lose the weight. And then when you achieve that goal, what is there after that, right?
You're still alive. You're still living. You're still eating. You're still
Right. So if you achieve that, then you're just okay, well, all right, I don't have to do this anymore. And I feel that might be a pivotal, also thought that people are they achieve it, they do it for a short span of time, and then they never continue with it, And I think being part of your lifestyle, this is always going to be until hopefully the day that I pass away, I just want this to continue. I want to be, doing this in my 70s and 80s. I see so many beautiful women who are inspirations who I follow who do the same thing, and they're just they're so inspirational.
Absolutely. I love when I see older women, you see them out there and they're active and they're vibrant. And, that's really, I know when you're young, really aesthetics are kind of the number one, but, but then energy and aesthetics, but it's really about the quality of your life. And you just really have a better quality of life, not to mention in order to build these muscles, we're having to feed ourselves the proper nutrition. Yes. And that is just a package thing right there,
Yep.
So, it's so funny, your grandma and older generations, they will just tell you how it is.
They will.
I'm going to tell you the facts, you know.
Yes, if I ever want like hard, bold truth, I'll just be like, Grandma, tell me how it is, and she will like just let it go. And I'm like, okay, but I definitely have to be ready for what I ask for. Yep.
So it sounds like basically, you know, you realize that, you know, you've been kind of in a funk for a while, and you were just like, you know what, I'm ready to take my life back, and lifting is the direction that you went to.
I would call it my first year was probably like just working out, just like moving around, getting out, not sitting on the couch, not TikToking or whatever was around at that time, and just moving. And I find that that helped me get used to dedicating a certain part of my time to working out, which I know that can be a struggle too, is like figuring out when can you fit this into your lifestyle, right?
Right. You know, it's very convenient for me because I have my home gym and I work from home. So I realize that a lot of people don't have that convenience. So I'm a little bit spoiled in that space, and I just can work out and when I'm at my peak of energy for the day, which is like noonish. But what about you? How do you fit lifting in or just getting your workouts?
Yeah, so I am also a little bit blessed as well. I work in law enforcement, so with that, they are very health friendly. They want you to be working out. They allow you to schedule that into your shift. So for me, yes, which is very, very nice. For me, I normally I'm very busy at work, so I might not always get it. Depending on what's happening, you know, you can't predict crime, right? So it's not every day. But I try to like put it around right after lunch. I like to carb up essentially to fuel my workout. So I'll try to hit the gym around 2 or 3. And then at least allot myself about 30-45 minutes to get throughout my workout routine. When I'm in my cutting phase, I tend to use that as my cardio time. And then at night, I'll work out with the husband. So I remarried after my ex-husband, and he and I will use that as like our bonding time, even though we're not actually working out together. Like he's all the way on the other gym doing his program. I'm over here. So it's like quality time, but not really. I don't need to be by his side. But it feels good. Yeah, it feels good. He's kind of like my accountability partner, which is also very helpful in this kind of lifestyle, is having somebody to kind of keep you essentially accountable. Just being like, hey, did you hit your workout? I didn't. Okay, well, maybe I should, because now they're reaching out and it helps. It really does help.
Yeah, that's wonderful. It's nice just to have someone that is in it with you.
Yes. Yeah. And what I also do, which I have found through the years that I've been lifting, I have people on social media that I constantly are tagging. I always take like a workout photo or like a video of like my PR or something, and I'll tag them. And that is also kind of like a virtual accountability, and they normally are tagging me in their workout videos that they're doing for the day. So even if you don't have somebody like physically there with you, you could make those relationships. And it's become part of like the Adelphae. We do the same thing. All of the girls are tagging each other and saying, hey, I got my workout in today. Where are you? And it kind of also gives you like that day that you might be like sluggish and being like, do I really want to go out? Do I really want to do this? And you're like, damn it. Okay, yeah, no, they called me out. Now I got to go. So it's really nice to do that.
What brought you to the 300 Spartans?
All right. So my very first DragonCon was 2017. It was also during the journey of my divorce. So my separation at the time, I was like, I'm going to go into cosplay. This is kind of, that whole thing was also a part of me really doing what I wanted to do. I always had an intro to DragonCon 2017. And I only saw, and I think it was a Friday night. I didn't see the whole, like, what we do, the marching through the hotels. I didn't see that. All I was exposed to was, like, probably 5 guys going up the escalator of the Marriott. And I was like, oh, 300, Gerard Butler. Oh, he's so hot. Like, I have the biggest crush on him. And everybody, all the cast members there, they're just gorgeous. But the movie is also made very well by Zack Snyder. So like I was like, that is just an amazing movie. So moving forward, I was like, I saw them, I was like, oh, that's so cool. And it was just in passing. Didn't know anything about this whole thing of like, this is like a staple of DragonCon, or one of the staples of DragonCon.
Yeah.
And so that year went by, 2018 came around. I was newly introduced to my boyfriend, now husband, and we went to DragonCon again, and he was talking to the 300 by the Pulse Bar area. And I realized, oh my God, there's more of them. There's like a lot. And I was like, okay, this is pretty cool. I wanted to recruit him as being a part of the 300. So it was kind of essentially like a joint effort of joining. So 2018 came to an end. We put in our application. At that time, Adelphae was not created. So that year I went in as being a Gorgo, a woman who is a part of like the council, dresses, and we still do fitness. We still work out. We still achieve our goals. So it was wonderful being a part of that community, getting to actually now have women, because like at that time I was just exposed to my husband, and my job is mainly man dominated, right? So I was like, okay, now I get to like know about like how this affects women and stuff. And it's different. We have hormones, we have periods, you know, things like that affect our workouts. I mean, you have to link those two together too, right? Like when I'm about to like start, my energy is down. I'm like, girl, I could just sit on the couch all day, don't do nothing.
And I hate doing sit-ups when you're bloated. It just feels
when you're bloated. Oh my gosh, I hate looking at myself when I'm bloated. I'm just like, wow, I just gained like 10 pounds. All this work for me to bloat again.
So it still gets in our head,
Yes, it still gets in our heads. So anyways, I did that, and I absolutely like loved the community. And that year, 2019, was one of the first years that I remember seeing it was like 2 or 3 caped women who marched with the men that year. And I was like, wow, that's really freaking awesome. I was like, oh, I might want to do that. And I kept toying the idea with my husband, but I still did not have the knowledge to achieve that. I was still learning about machines and like all these different things that like activate different muscles. I went in with the mindset that I might not achieve it, but I'm going to try. So 2020 happened. The whole world shut down. So I was like, well, that's not gonna happen this year. So 2021 rolled up, and that's when Adelphae was essentially created. I was like, this is the year. I'm gonna do it. I learned the last 2 years at least what to do in the gym, programming, how essential that is to building muscles and like making sure you're increasing your weights and stuff. And that was the first year I earned my Adelphae shield.
Well, congratulations on earning your shield on the first effort. Very, very cool. I didn't realize you had a husband who was also 300 Spartan.
Yeah.
You making your costumes together and all that sort of
thing. Double the armor, double the shields, double everything.
Yeah. Were you in the dance video when I came running?
I was.
I
was. That's how I remember you. Yep. That's how I remember you. And I remember you coming up being like, hey, can I get a video of you guys just doing like some fun dancing and stuff?
Come on, let's I was so happy you guys were willing to dance. I mean, So I know this wasn't in my questions originally, but ask you a little bit about your law enforcement job, because I find that fascinating.
So for the past, I'm almost going on 10 years, I've been doing crime scene work. So I have my bachelor's. I got, my first job 2 months prior to me graduating college, and I was blessed in that regard. It's a very competitive field. And like I mentioned, crime scene, like you can't predict when that happens. So there's a lot of times that I have spent away from my husband, my ex-husband. family. There have been holidays that, like, in the middle of me having dinner, I gotta go. Like, it's very intense. It's very much you're putting the community first in your life, and that I don't mind. I've always been kind of giving person. And so, yeah, it can get crazy, but I love talking about it. I love giving knowledge back to the youth. I have a lot of college kids that want to see if this is a career for them. So I give them tours of our agency. I'll talk about my experiences. Yeah, so I like doing that. And eventually I hope to teach. That's like my main goal. When I retire, I want to pass on to the next generation of crime scene individuals. It's been difficult with the workout lifestyle sometimes, because then it's like it knocks you out of your routine. You're kind of like, should I go to the gym? But I found myself, making sure that, like, no, I still want to progress. And I have personal goals of like where I want to be in the next like 5-10 years. I hope to see myself competing on stage at least once in my lifetime. And in Orlando, they have a lot of like shows that come through. So like recently, like 2 weekends ago, we went to a show and got to see, and it was a lot of fun just to see the ladies up there who also put their drive to doing this. So
yeah, that's cool, man. That's really amazing. Yeah, you're definitely making a difference in your job. So you've been lifting for a while, but when you were brand new, are there some things that you learned along the way that you would share with some new lifters out there or people that are considering it?
Yeah, absolutely. So I wish I was just a little bit more out of my head of going to the gym and being like, I don't want to look stupid. That was something I wish I just from the straight off just was like, I'm just going to go for it. Because I have found, at least in my gym community, that everyone there is really helpful. Everyone there, you're going to have all different ranges of people, from brand spanking new all the way to they've been on stage and competing and stuff. And if you just ask them, like, hey, I'm not familiar with this, can you show me how to use it? 9 out of 10 times, they have no problem of being like, oh, this is how you use it. The other thing is finding the gym that works for you. Mm-hmm. We did LA Fitness, we did Planet Fitness, we did all those like gym membership ones that were relatively close to our home. And I think there's a part of it with vibe that plays a factor, right? Yeah. And I found that Crunch gives me that energy when I'm there. I don't know if it's because they strategically painted colors and that like uplifts me or whatever it is, but I find, that they do really cool. I don't know if it's the music that they're playing, but it just gets me going when I get there.
That's a game changer, yeah.
Yeah, so I think the two main things I would say is get out of your head and don't worry, you're not going to look stupid because everyone is going to be doing the same thing that you're doing and learning. And secondly is finding that gym place that kind of fits your vibe.
I like it. I really do. And gosh, that part that you mentioned about trying to not get in your head and think you're going to look stupid. I've said it on my channel, don't worry about what your neighbor's doing and all that. But I totally did. When I was going to One Life Fitness, for example, and I kind of for the first time started using, the barbell for squats. I was embarrassed to make it as light as I really needed to as a beginner.
Mm-hmm. It is a hard thing. You see somebody next to you and they're like doing this astronomical number and you're like, I'm only doing like 45 pounds of like just the bar alone. And you're like, oh, am I even worth like standing up here? But you are like, that's the thing is like, you're eventually going to increase and you're going to get there. And that's okay. And everyone is going to no one's going to turn around and be like, oh, look at that person. Like they're, but I feel like that's how we put it in our heads. And we're just like, oh my gosh, everyone's just going to be laughing at me. And everyone there is truly rooting and respecting the fact that you chose to come to the gym, just like they chose to come to the gym. So yeah. There's like an old saying, it takes 3 weeks to like create a habit. It takes 3 weeks to break a habit. And if you can just get yourself, right? And I've had a lot of people reach out to me and they're like, how do you do what you do? How do you make this part of your life? And when I started, my thing was like, let me at least hit the gym twice a week. Slowly introduce yourself to it, because if you go in, I'm going to go 5 days a week. I don't even make it 5 days a week. Like,
Right?
you know what I mean? Like, if you go with that high expectation, you're never going to achieve it. So start low. Go 2 times a week. Okay, I made it 2 times a week. Cool. I also do a reward system with myself. So my thing is like, hey, this month I made it 3 times a week. The whole month I get myself a new like outfit, like a gym outfit.
I like
And that's my reward. Or, hey, I need a new like lifting belt. I've been wanting to save up for this. I hit the gym this many times. All right, I can purchase it for myself.
That's cool.
And yeah, it's a cool little thing that I've done. It's helped a couple of my friends. I think everyone's a little bit different on how it works for them, but I have found that's been a good one for me and a few of my people, you know, so.
I'll use carrots like that too. Like I had like a 6-week event challenge is what I called it on my channel. And it was kind of leading into carrots, which was the, you know, photo shoot. During that time, I did go to events and just didn't eat what they ate. I didn't drink what they drank. I'm just like, I'm here.
Right.
You guys can party. Yeah. I'm going to be the civilized person over here with my green tea, you know?
Of course. I have found like it gets difficult, especially for like when we're going for DragonCon. It's the summer, right? Yeah. Everyone's like, oh, let's go to like a pool party. Let's do this. Or like a lot of my friends' birthdays all happen around this time. And I'm getting invited left and right to like go. And so I always make a big like post on my Facebook. I send out text messages to my friends. I'm like, hey, look, I know you want to go and get dinner. You want to celebrate. If it's food oriented, please don't invite me. I will not be upset. If it's just like, hey, we're chilling and hanging out, I'll bring my own food. Just realize that. And essentially, if I've already made plans, we're sealed and dealed. I've already looked at the menu and configured something that works out. But I try not to tempt myself too much during the time of my cut, because it gets difficult. And then I live in Orlando, so like I'm by Disney and I'm an annual pass holder. And I love going to the parks, but they always have so many good like little snacks that they come out with. Like, oh, this month it's this. And I'm like, oh, I want to eat it so bad. So, you know, I allow myself the occasional, all right, if I've been good for like 2 weeks, I haven't fallen off the bandwagon. If I want that little dessert, it's not really going to screw up anything, you know? It's all in moderation. It's all in like key. And if you do fall off that bandwagon a little bit, it's okay. Like, it's a give and take. Just don't fall completely off and tumble into the ditch, you know?
Right, yeah. When I bulk, I need to eat more than I'm eating. Like, I did bulk better this year, but I really am not making myself eat on the level that it takes.
Yeah. So honestly, I'll tell you this, my first year of Adelphae, trying to run for Adelphae, I was not eating nearly as much as like what the standard amount is for a woman, right? And carbs are easy to achieve, fat is easy to achieve. It's the protein that we normally miss out on, protein size. And I think my first year, I will say that's probably the year that like I got the most like thinnest in my journey, because for my cut, I probably was at, and this is, I don't recommend this for anybody, but during my cut, I was at 1,300 calories when I started my cut, because I was probably eating maybe 1,400 calories.
Yeah.
During my and I didn't realize what I was eating. I wasn't realizing that wasn't enough to suffice me. Then the next year, and I'll show you the 2 photos. The year that my first year, and then my next year. My next year, there's a difference. I learned about bulking. I try to put that into like a real hard thing. Man, trying to put the food in though. At times I thought it was like, man, my jaw hurts. I don't want to eat anymore. So, and now I have a good like range. I'm still changing things because every year your body kind of might shift. You're getting a little bit older. You might have a knee injury, because that happened to me. And so like there are things that like you have to, it's like a variable. You're playing a game of mathematics and you're figuring it out. So I get it, but bulking is hard. Bulking is hard. So, very sad news. I will not be attending DragonCon this year.
Man, you know what?
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah, this year, PTO is not on my side. We are going to Japan. So because of that, I had to allocate my time there. I'm still creating things. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I just finished my Goblin Queen.
Okay.
From X-Men. I was going to debut her at DragonCon, so I'm slowly making things. I just don't have a timeline anymore. So that's been a little helpful. I do commission work too, so I've also taken that on a little bit more since I'm not going to DragonCon. So that's what I've been kind of working on myself.
Okay, well, you know, I am really sad that you're not going to be there, but you know what? I think you're forgiven because you're going to Japan. That's
Thank you. I don't know whenever I'm going to get this opportunity again to go. So I'm going to take it and go with it. And DragonCon is always going to be there. So I'll be there next year. I'll have tons of cosplays, I'm sure.
Well, anyone that's coming to this channel be interested in the 300s. They might be interested in DragonCon and cosplay, but there's a lot of people that are interested in maybe that and fitness. Or just fitness. As a person who obviously is really doing extremely well in both of those areas, you know, you're almost like a celebrity interview for this channel.
Well, I appreciate that. No, it's been wonderful to go ahead and like share my knowledge and wealth of experience that I've gone through with you. And I love that you are bringing this platform to your you know, your channel and expressing that with other people. And I hope, you know, anyone out there, if they ever have questions or anything, just DM me, send me a message. I don't mind talking to people. I love, you know, sharing my information as much as I can and hopefully, you know, impact people. And you're doing the same thing with your channel. So I'm so proud to be on here. So thank you.
Oh man, no, thank you. And I appreciate that. Yes. And I myself might have some questions for you. So
perfect. Hit me up.
All right, girl. Well, thanks again for joining me and for supporting my channel. It means the world to me. And I will not see you at DragonCon, but I will talk to you again soon. Hopefully we'll be able to do an interview between the three of us, you and Allison and myself, and we'll continue the conversation about Sparta and all of that. That'd be very fascinating for all of us that love the 300 Spartans. And I hope you enjoy the rest of your Saturday.
You too. You have a good one. Thank you. Have a good one.
Thanks. Bye. I have thoroughly enjoyed this. I've learned a lot about you, and you've shared some great wisdom.
You know, anyone that's coming to this channel is they might be interested in the 300s. They might be interested in DragonCon cosplay, but there's a lot of people that are interested in maybe that and fitness. But, you know, as a person who obviously is really doing extremely well in both of those areas, you know, you're like a celebrity interview for this channel.
Well, I appreciate that. No, it's been wonderful to go ahead and like share my knowledge and wealth of experience that I've gone through with you. And I love that you are bringing this platform to your, you know, your channel and expressing that with other people. And I hope, you know, anyone out there, if they ever have any questions or anything, just DM me, send me a message. I don't mind talking to people. I love, you know, sharing my information as much as I can and hopefully, you know, impact people. And you're doing the same thing with your channel. So I'm so proud to be on here. So thank you.
Oh man, no, thank you. And I appreciate that. Yeah, and I will not see you at DragonCon, but I will talk to you again soon. And I hope you enjoy the rest of your Saturday.
You too. You have a good one. Thank you. Have a good one.